should say thank you to our readers. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where is my help to come? I was sitting with one of the women who comes to eat lunch at First United Methodist and on Lincoln Street in Salinas. We were sitting on the steps in the courtyard of the church. Tim and Alice and Philip and Ed and others were inside serving the food. We sat there on the steps, Evelyn and me, just enjoying the warmth of the sun together. And bit by bit, a little of her story came out. It's actually a good thing, she said. It's actually a good thing I don't have access to my kids, any of my kids. That was about all I said. I have too many of them, she said. Now, honestly, I had no idea what to say. So I just said, tell me about your kids. And she told me about her children and her various husbands. And then she said that some of her kids had provided her with a tent to keep her out of the rain. And that tent was now missing. And she was convinced that it had been stolen by the man she was glaring at, who was in the courtyard across from us. She was living this psalmist's question. Where will my help come? I mean, it's a minute-to-minute question for her. And yes, the help she needed, it was about a tent. It was about her kids. It was about her mental health. It was all of that. I mean, God knows she desperately needed material help. And that's the place where I have profound advantages over her. The place where those of us who were helping have profound advantages. And where we are challenged to conduct ourselves politically, to be sensible and helpful towards people like her who are severely disadvantaged for a whole variety of reasons. But spiritually, in a very real sense, a very practical, real sense, between her and me, there is no difference. We are in the same boat. We are members of the human race here on earth for a short while, loved by God and sinners. St. Paul says in Romans chapter 3, he says, "For there is no distinction, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." For there is no distinction. I think he meant that. And it's astounding when you become conscious of it, how many distinctions we make constantly, not in the foreground of our minds, and that would be gauche, but they are there, running constantly in the background. My children are doing really well. I have healthy grandchildren. I have a home and work that I am called to. I think logically and rationally. I'm compassionate. I'm a pretty decent person. I am thin. I have wrinkles. I am getting older. I'm not very strong. I have attacks of anxiety and depression. The list just goes on and on. Our advantages, our disadvantages. And that background din that's always there, it's not just about you. It's about you in comparison with other people. Jesus knew this about us. He told a parable about a tax collector and a Pharisee going into the temple to pray. And the Pharisee's prayer was basically thanking God that he was good, that he did good things, and that he was not like that tax collector back there. Now, we think we would never pray like that, but we do all the time. When I sat in the sun on the curb of Evelyn in the courtyard of First United Methodist, that background noise was happening. I was glad to be the one listening, not the one with all the problems. I was glad to be healthy and not on the verge of a breakdown. I was very aware that flawed as I am, I wasn't carrying the huge load of issues that she is. And I'm outing myself about this now because it's very, very easy to fool ourselves into thinking that we do not do this kind of thing, that we don't compare and judge and make distinctions. But my friends, unless you're a saint, and unless you are living completely enlightened by the Lord, you do. And it is wise and well to confess it. Because this propensity to sin, it is in us, and it is strong. And while we can tame it, and we can look and act good, the truth is, we are separated from one another and from God because we are sinners. And it's no use denying this. In 1 John chapter 1, he puts it very simply and succinctly. He just says, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. And here's the really kind of bad news, good news thing about that. Bad news about our condition. Anything which we do that is positive, like having a religious temperament, being morally conscious, being a humanitarian, good things, all of those are really good things. But each and every one of those things contains within itself the seed of disruption of true fellowship. And this is what I mean. Because all of those things produce difference. Because they distinguish us from each other. I help you because you need help. I am good because I help you and you need help. I am a good person. I don't lie or cheat or steal. But to know myself as a good person means that I have to know that there are bad people. So I'm talking at a pretty high level right now, so please try to stay with me because everything in us kind of rebels against what I'm saying. We are good. We do good. This is all so true. But our goodness also produces division, even if it's just in the depths of our hearts. And the only way around those distinctions that inevitably divide us from each other is to recognize that we, all of us, the whole of the human race, Americans, Syrians, Iraqis, Mexicans, Germans, immigrants, illegal aliens, presidents, janitors, men, women, transgenders, queers, people who crowd into the homeless shelters, you, me, all of us are sinners. We all fall short of the glory of God. We are not the pure and beautiful species that God intended. And weirdly enough, oddly enough, when we recognize that we're all sinners, we can also know deeply in our bones that we are all brothers and sisters. Our solidarity with others, me, with Evelyn, is finally and fully grounded in this basic fundamental fact of who we are, of our condition. We all fall short of the glory of God. And before God, all those distinctions that we make, that we cling to, are completely and utterly trivial. So I'm not preaching pessimism or heavy depression or asceticism about any of this. In fact, this recognition that we all fall short of the glory of God, that we all fall way short of the true and original humanity that God intended for us, that we are all of us sinners, it comes as a relief, a kind of deep breath relief that this is the truth, and we can stop trying so damn hard to right the ship. Because the ship is sinking. And we're all in the same ship. I'm Linda. I'm a sinner. That that is the truest connection that we have with one another. It's our fundamental solidarity with one another. So don't opt out of this connection. Don't try to opt out by trying to convince anyone about your intelligence or your wealth or your problems. I'm a sinner, you're a sinner, your neighbor down the street is a sinner, the grocery clerk, the voter registrar, the border patrol guy, the coyote, the drug dealer, the refugee, the judge, the president, all have fallen short. There is no distinction. And actually, that's the good news. That's the good news. Because we're all here together, right? We're all rubbing shoulders up against with each other. And there is help. There's help. There's a remedy. There is salvation. Because while we were still enemies with each other, with God, with God's creation, while we were pretty much messed up and powerless to save ourselves, God came to us in the person of His Son Jesus. And God died for us in the person of His Son Jesus on the cross that we nailed Him to. God so loved the world, so loved us, the whole world, all of us, even God's enemies. God doesn't condemn them. He doesn't come all this way in order to condemn us, but to save us. Someone once said, it took me a long time to realize that not only did God not hate my enemies, He didn't even hate His enemies. For the world has me. I am its God. That's how Martin Luther summarized God's inexpressibly beautiful message of this gospel. God's own being, God's own nature is love, and God has declared in Jesus unconditional love for this whole world. And He has placed within us this gift and this mercy of faith, of just trusting this to be true, if we'll make that leap. If we'll make that leap. In Romans, from the message, this is why the fulfillment of God's promise to save us, to make us into a new creation, a new heaven, a new earth, redeem us all, every single one of us. This fulfillment of God's promise depends entirely on just trusting Him, trusting God and His way, and then simply embracing Him and what He does. Thank God. It can feel like a huge leap into the unknown. Is it really true that God so loves me? That God so loves the world? That salvation is real? And that a new heaven and a new earth are not only possible but practical and available? It is true. We don't earn our way into God's grace. God comes to us as sheer, impossible gift. And because we are so grateful, because we can sing God's praises, because He has rescued us, how did that praise we serve Him? We sit on the curb with Evelyn. We cook in the kitchen with, I don't remember his name, who's always there. And at First United Methodist, we work in our offices and we study and we do our homework and we fill out our college applications and we save for our retirement and we do all of this because we are so relieved and grateful that God has come to us and saved us. And because we and everyone else are God's beloved children. And we are relieved of any and all debt and all sin, purely and simply by His grace. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help, our help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. Amen.